You are in the market to purchase a house, or maybe you're ready to sell. You might want to hear what my next guest has to say. Local real estate agent Louie Ortiz is here to take some of your questions this morning. Louie, thanks so much for coming
good morning.
in. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday.
Hey, let's just get right to this first question from Jen in Mira Mesa. She's asking, is it better to offer cash or bid higher when competing for a new home?
What a great question. You know, in general, cash is always king. Usually, you avoid a lot of problems when you're offering cash. You don't have to deal with a lender appraisal. You don't have to worry about termite inspections. But I think something really important to ask is really for that buyer to find out what's important to the seller. Sometimes it's not always the dollars that they're offering, but sometimes it's other things like delayed possession or doing a rent back. So I think it's really important to find out what's important to that seller and then make that determination if it's cash or...
Is there anything else that you could do as a potential buyer to make sure that your bid stands out amongst your competition?
Absolutely. And like I say, I'd say probably the biggest strategy for that is finding out what's important to the seller, because sometimes a seller is very emotional. And by way of example, a seller may say, you know what, I really want a nice family to have my home. And so a nice cover letter or something, to kind of make your offer stand out.
Pictures of your cute kids.
Surprisingly, sometimes I've seen sellers take that, a lesser offer with a nice cover letter because they felt emotional. They thought, these buyers are going to take great care of my home.
That's really interesting. Okay, so think of everything that's out there for you. Okay, let's talk about people that are trying to get into the housing market for the first time. Right. First-time home buyers, what do they need to know right now? Well,
a couple of points. The very first one is really to know how much home they can afford. Making sure that they check their credit, making sure that they get a pre-approval is really important. And something else that I see first-time home buyers sometimes make a mistake is just because they qualify for a home doesn't mean that they should necessarily buy the most expensive home they can afford. And I see that happen a lot. Really look at your budget and determine how much home do you really want and what can you really afford on a monthly basis.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to be called what's called home poor, which means you can afford this house payment, but you're eating mac and cheese every night for dinner, and you're never taking a vacation because you're trying to dump every last penny you have into your mortgage payment. So think about that. Good advice. All right, try not to get emotional. Now, this is hard.
Yes.
This is a tough one.
Especially for a first-time home buyer. Sometimes you see that home and you're like, oh my gosh.
You fall in love.
Absolutely. And sometimes when you're emotional, you don't make the best financial decision. So it's really important to be objective. When you're doing your inspections, make sure you really go through those disclosures, look at the neighborhood, look at really what's going to work for you, and try not to get emotional.
Okay, also for people that are trying to upgrade or perhaps downsize in this housing market, what should they know right now?
Well, one strategy right now for people that have a little bit more time and they don't necessarily need to buy something right now is to tap into that hidden housing market. So many sellers right now were in the market a year or two ago, and for whatever reason their homes didn't sell, and those people still may want to sell those homes. So it's a great strategy for those potential home buyers to kind of tap into that hidden housing market and look at some of those homes that were off the market a few years ago.
Perfect. Okay, and then also always a good idea to hop online as often as you can and see which new homes are hitting the market. Right?
Yeah, there's so many great online tools out there available that people can, search for properties. There's satellite views. There's mapping tools where you can do actually street views. You can actually visit neighborhoods without physically going there. So really spending some time and analyzing that is really important.
All right, Louie Ortiz, we always appreciate your expertise.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Nice to you.
All right.